follow the footsteps of Vorasa. I think being over there, closer to the audience, makes a lot of sense. I'm also going to be following our Dada, Komarayal sir. What an inspiration. ஒவ்வொரு தடவை அவர் பேச்சு கேட்கும் பொழுதும் ஒரு புதுமையான ஒரு புத்துணர்ச்சி ஏற்படுது அப்படிங்கிறது உண்மை. அவர் not only in the age, he seems to be growing younger and younger. In terms of energy and inspiration, he seems to be multiplying. Really enjoyed it. So thankful, sir. So I'm going to be here talking to or sharing with the audience some of the perspectives. And what really pleasantly surprised me today morning was Mr. Vora's talk. My biggest takeaway from that was that amazing, mind-blowing kind of a love and affection for this country, and without holding anything back, wanting to talk about it, wanting to shout about it, wanting to make noise about it and say, I feel proud and good as an Indian. Believe me, as he spoke, I thought I was so fortunate because it was such a coincidence that I'm here and I'm listening to this person, and I'm here and the essence of my talk is extremely Indian because it begins with this title, Dharmic Leadership. Dharmic, Dharmam, அப்படிங்கிற வார்த்தை நமக்கெல்லாம் பரிச்சயமான ஒரு வார்த்தை. Dharma is a word, Dharmam or Dharmikta is a word which is used in every nook and corner of India. Dharmam அப்படிங்கிற வார்த்தை ரொம்ப ஒரு பொதுவான ஒரு வார்த்தை இந்த நாட்டில். அழகா நம்ம தமிழ்ல சினிமாவில் கூட பாடியிருக்காரு எம்ஜிஆர். அது ஒரு பேரு தர்மத்துக்காக பேர் வாங்கினவர். தர்மம் தலை காக்கும், தக்க சமயத்தில் உயிர் காக்கும். Dharma will help you and at the right time it will really rescue you in life. That's what it says. Again, when Mr. Vora talked about it, he said, I'm a proud Sanadani Dharma. Sanadani சொல்லுவது நான் சனாதன தர்மத்தை மிகவும் பெருமையோடு ஏற்றுக்கொள்கிறேன் அப்படின்னு சொன்னார். ஆக எனக்கே தெரியாம தமிழ குமரவேல் சார் ஒரு இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன், பாரதத்தை பற்றி தர்மத்தை பற்றி திரு வோரா அவர்கள் இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன். இந்த டபுள் இன்ஸ்பிரேஷன் கிடைச்சதுக்கு அப்புறம் எனக்கு எதுவும் பேசணும்னு தோணல ஆக்சுவலி. பட் ஐ எம் ஹியர் டு டாக் அபவுட் dharmic leadership. Why are we saying dharmic leadership is required today? Because I believe we are at a very, very important crossroads, which has been highlighted by Mr. Komarvel. We need to have a rebalancing of growth, of humanity, and conscious leadership in this artificial intelligence age. Let me just make a very simple, kind of a observation. Let me ask you a question. Anybody can answer, anybody sitting here. Can you please tell me, what do I have in my hand? Please tell me, what do I have in my hand?
Microphone.
Okay, so you all said mic. Now I want to clarify. Is mic the name of what I have in my hand? Or is it mic? I'm repeating the question again. Is mic the name or the label for this instrument that I have in my hand? Or is it mic?
The label.
Name.
It is a label? Brilliant. So tell me, what I have in my hand is an equipment or a gadget or a tool which enhances the noise or the voice volume. Am I right? And the name, the information by which it is known, it is the mic. Am I right? Are we together? Now answer the other important question. Then is information the primary product or this instrument the primary product? Which is the primary product? I'm repeating this again. First, the instrument came, then it got an identity and a name and a label. Which one is the primary product? Obviously, the instrument. All that I want you to know is to park in your mind, in your heart somewhere deeply that information always will be a secondary product. And you need to have primary product so as to have a label or a name about it. This is very, very important because we are living in an age which is called information age. I'm just repeating this again. Information will always be a secondary product. And if you don't have the real-time product and services, information is superfluous. Why am I saying this? Because today we are in an information age, such a rebellious, such a revolutionary information age, where you have started believing and getting convinced that information is primary and that's going to decide things of life. I just want to give this note of caution before I move further. The paradox of our times. We are in a very dynamic kind of a stage, extremely driven mankind, but unfortunately, I'm very sure all of you will agree that the kind of scientific development that you have achieved today in the last century and the few centuries is unprecedented. The kind of comforts, the kind of advances, the kind of facilities that have got created is unbelievable. Kumaragil sir very beautifully said, there will be only two kinds of people. People who either know and therefore survive because of AI, and people who do not know. The complete thing is based on information technology, which has progressed so much. With this kind of a progress, what kind of a universe, what kind of a world we should be living in? Ideally, we should have been living in a world where there is not a single human being who is hungry in this world. With this kind of a progress, we should have had a world where there is not a single conflict happening. There must have been so much of richness, there must have been so much of wealth, there must have been so much of comfort for every human being born on this earth to be celebrating life. The question is that the reality? Today, if you pick up a newspaper, today, if you switch on a television channel, is this world a world of peace, a world of joy, a world of comfort, a world of collaboration, a world of celebration? Ask your consciousness. With all this improvement, with all this growth of technology, with all this advancement of information technology, if this world is seeing in every continent, conflicts, potential wars, threat, possibly a third world war, what are we humans doing with all our intelligence? That is the question. If in spite of this phenomenal growth of science, phenomenal growth of technology, if the human being has got to live in conflict, in hate, and in fear, I think we have messed up our life. And for messing up this life, what you require in this world is not more of managing results and achievements. Let's put our hands together once again for Dr. Kumaragil for that very, very inspiring kind of talk. My dear friends, beyond technology and tools, I think we've got a call for awakening and consciousness. Beyond tools and technologies, which are in abundance, we have a need for a call on consciousness, a challenge of awakening. And this is where the word dharma comes into place. It's very fascinating. Like I said, this is one word which gets used in every part of India. North में तो हम इसको धर्म बोलते हैं और साउथ में धर्मम बोलते हैं. Dharmam, say the dharmam talekakam takka samayatilu irgakam. Dharmavan, or Romba Peri Manse, charitable mind. For example, what Moraji talked about, Sanatana. He said, I am very proud Sanatani, Sanatana Dharma. Then what is the Dharma Raja that you are talking about? So I am going to the fundamental, which is the Dharma of existence itself. And when I did some deeper research in this, you'll be surprised to know that the best of research in this area about the word Dharma is done by Germans, not by Indians. Germans have done some very deep study about our Vedas, our scriptures, Max Muller and all of them. And since this word dharma appears hundreds of times, they have gone deeper into that. And here is, my dear friends, a beautiful definition, almost close to that, may not be exact, about dharma. Dharma is a principle of right balance. Dharma is the principle of right balance when in creation. So remember, existence exists and then creation happens. From whatever it is that state of emptiness, whatever is that universal consciousness, when creation takes place, படைப்பு உருவாகும் பொழுது, when there is everything empty, only as a potential, there is no question of a dharma. ஆனால் படைப்பு ஏற்படும் பொழுது, the moment creation starts, the principle of dharma comes into place. You know why? Because from emptiness, if something has to emerge, you have the first time, the two opposite things happening. There is emptiness and something is emerging. The first emergence of opposites. Are you getting it clear? ஒன்றுமே இல்லாததிலிருந்து ஒன்று படைக்கப்படுகிறது என்று வரும் பொழுது முதல் முறையாக இரண்டு எதிர்மறையான விஷயங்கள் உருவாகின்றன. And therefore, dharma is that principle where the opposite realities, எதிர்மறையான அந்த இரண்டு விஷயங்களும், they are held together dynamically in equity and balance. எவ்வளவு ஒரு அழகான டெஃபினிஷன். தர்மம் என்பது எப்படிப்பட்ட தத்துவம் என்றால், படைப்பிலே எதிர்மறையான இரண்டு விஷயங்களை சமன் செய்து சீர் செய்து நடத்தி செல்லும் அந்த தத்துவம் அதுவே தர்மம். What a beautiful definition it is. And the question today is, what has happened to that dharma? My dear friends, as we go back to the last maybe 500, 600, 700 years, as he rightly said, many revolutions took place. But you must look at the fundamental of that revolution. Now you may be first of all saying, எதிர்மறையான இரண்டு விஷயங்கள், opposite realities. Raja, can you simplify that? Because it looks very philosophical. No problem at all. Everybody sitting here, right this second, we will discover the dharma of living itself. All of you, please, for a second, please breathe in deeply. Breathe in deeply. And please don't breathe out. Stay like that. Anybody can? No way. The moment you breathe in, the next second you've got to breathe out. Opposite realities operating right at this moment. Fundamental. Today morning, the sun has come up. It's a beautiful bright light. The seductive darkness of the evening will set in another few hours. Light and darkness in a day, opposite realities. For every beautiful female species created, including stones, there's a male species. Do you know, my dear friends, that if you talk to Silpigal, Silpa Savadita பேசுனீங்கன்னா, they talk about the male stone and the female stone. கடவுளுடைய சிற்பங்கள் வடிவமைப்பதற்கு பெண்கள் தான் நல்ல கல் அப்படின்னு எங்கிட்ட ஸ்தபதி சொல்றாரு. Can you imagine? When it comes to even stone, there's a classification of the male stone and female stone. Fundamental. அதெல்லாம் விடுங்க. The most important thing, look at yourself. Suppose for a moment, sir, what's your name, sir? Suppose I'm introducing Sridhar to you. And I say Sridhar is roughly about 5 feet 10 inches tall. 6 feet 2 inches tall. Sridhar is roughly about 87 kilos of weight. Yeah, so he's closer to 90 plus. Yeah, suppose I say Sridhar wears XL shirts. Suppose I say Sridhar has got glasses, minus 2.5 power. Suppose I say Sridhar wears Bata, shoe size number 10. And I give you 10 such descriptions. Have I given you completely an identification and understanding of Sridhar?
No.
Yes or no? Why, ma'am? Why no?
Because there's an essence of him.
Beautiful. Most beautiful. Because what I've described is the structure of Sridhar, not the soul of Sridhar, not the spirit of Sridhar. The structure plus soul or the spirit put together a human being. இதுக்கு மேல அந்த எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ் வேணுமா? எதிர்மறையான இரண்டு விஷயங்களை பத்தி. Do you require any other example about the opposite realities existing together? My dear friends, this is the fundamentals of existence. But what has happened in the last 500 years is something very interesting, tremendously progressive, yet there is an unstated, unrealized, serious challenge. And that is called scientific development. What about the quality of scientific development that has taken place in the last 500-600 years? We can never have the kind of life that we are having today in terms of comforts. In terms of comforts, what science has been able to give us, nothing ever can be matched, even in imagination. Be it the comfortable of a home in terms of an air conditioner, be it the comfortable of traveling very fast in an automobile, or by a jet airplane, or in the medical science, everything and anything, including the computer information technology, the artificial intelligence, phenomenal growth. ஆனால் நண்பர்களே, this is where we need to become cautious. We talked about the two realities. The one reality is the structure, the body, the objective reality. The other one is the non-body, the subjective reality. You call it the spirit, you call it the soul, you call it the mind, but that one which is not structured, which is dynamic and moving in its own kind of way. So we have these two, and science completely and necessarily depends on the structured reality, because science is a field where evidence is required to prove things. And anything which is evidential needs to be available in terms of an identifiable kind of means. And for identifiable kind of means, naturally it has got to be either something seen by the eye, heard by the ears, smelled by the nose, or tasted by the tongue, or felt by the smell. So it has got to be புலன்களை சார்ந்த ஒரு அடையாளம் இருந்தால் மட்டுமே அது பொருளாக இருக்க முடியும். பொருள் சார்ந்த உலகம் என்று வந்துவிட்டால் புலன்களை சார்ந்த விஷயமாக இருக்க வேண்டும். அப்படி இருந்தால்தான் அது பிரத்யட்சமாக கண்ணுக்கு தெளிவாக இருக்க முடியும். அப்படி இருக்கக்கூடியதற்கு மட்டும்தான் தடயம் இருக்க முடியும், எவிடன்ஸ் இருக்க முடியும். எவிடன்ஸ் இருந்தா மட்டும்தான் சயின்டிபிக் ட்ரூத். ஃபேண்டாஸ்டிக். அதனால இந்த அளவுக்கு ப்ரோக்ரஸ், இந்த அளவுக்கு வளர்ச்சி. ஆனால் remember the most important thing. Anything which is an objective reality. Now this is the most important statement to caution about objective reality. Anything which is an objective reality, it has got its conditions based on the three meanings of objective reality. Object அப்படிங்கிற வார்த்தை எடுத்துங்க. You can give three meanings to the word object. When you say object, the first meaning is ஒரு பொருள், ஒரு வஸ்து, a material. That is the first meaning, right? The second meaning, I got an objective in my mind. The moment I say objective in my mind, எனக்கு ஒரு இலக்கு இருக்கிறது, எனக்கு ஒரு குறிக்கோள் இருக்கிறது, எனக்கு ஒரு டார்கெட் இருக்கிறது. ஆனால் எந்த ஒரு குறிக்கோள், எந்த ஒரு இலக்கு, எந்த ஒரு டார்கெட், அதுவும் அளவெடுக்கப்படும். அளவெடுக்கப்பட விஷயமாக இருந்தால் அதுவும் ஒரு அளவுக்குள் அடங்கும். கரெக்ட் தானா? மூணாவது ரொம்ப இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங். முதல்வன் ஆப்ஜெக்ட் பொருள், இரண்டாவது ஆப்ஜெக்ட் இலக்கு, மூன்றாவது ஆப்ஜெக்ட் ஆப்ஜெக்ட் வாட் யூ ஆர் சேயிங், தடுப்பது, நிறுத்துவது, தடை போடுவது. ஒரு விஷயத்தை தடை போட்டா அதுவும் குறைஞ்சு போயிடும். புரியுதுங்களா? ஆக இந்த மூணு அர்த்தத்திலும் பாத்தீங்கன்னா ஆப்ஜெக்டிவ் ரியாலிட்டி என்று சொல்லக்கூடிய பொருள் சார்ந்த அந்த உலகம் ஒரு குறைவான அளவுக்குள்ளே மட்டும்தான் இருக்க முடியும், ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட அளவுக்குள்ளே மட்டும்தான் இருக்க முடியும். அளப்பரிய விஷயமாக இருக்கக்கூடியது மனிதனின் மனம் மட்டும்தான், அவனுடைய ஆன்மா மட்டும்தான். only the human soul and the human spirit can be unlimited. ஆனால் இவ்வளவு பிரமாதமான விஞ்ஞான ரீதியாக சயின்டிபிக் டெவலப்மெண்ட் ஏற்பட்டு கொண்டே போகும் பொழுது கடந்த 500, 600, 700 வருஷங்களே மனிதன் பொருள் சார்ந்த உலகம் மட்டும்தான் உண்மை, அது மட்டும்தான் பெரியது, அது மட்டும்தான் தேவை என்ற தவறான ஒரு மாயையிலே மாட்டிக்கொண்டு முழிக்கிறான். That is our challenge of today. Therefore, the biggest duality that we have challenged here is the conflict between the objective reality, which is fantastic scientific progress, and the subjective stagnation or regression, which is about the human soul, about the human being, about the human entity. My dear friends, unless you also bring along together the spiritual or the subjective reality or மனிதனின் அவனுடைய உணர்வுகளை சார்ந்த அந்த விஷயங்கள் அதை நாம் சேர்ந்து கவனிக்கவில்லை என்றால் என்ன ஆகும்? இந்த டைனமிக் பேலன்ஸ்ல you have tremendous artificial intelligence and you have unimaginable human stupidity. Take it for granted. பொருள் சார்ந்த உலகத்தினுடைய அடையாளம் எதனுடைய அடிப்படையில் இருக்கிறது? What is the basis on which objective reality is acknowledged or measured? 3 dimensions. Objective பொருள் சார்ந்த உலகத்தின் reality, it is measured by 3 dimensions. Number 1, time. Number 2, quantity. Number 3, quality. And put together value. பொருள் சார்ந்த உலகத்தின் அடிப்படை என்ன கேட்ட இந்த 3 விஷயங்கள் தான். அது நேரம், நேரத்திலே உருவாகும், காலத்திலே அழியும். அதற்கு ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட அளவு everything will occupy certain space. And because of that, it will have a particular quality and value. அதாவது ஒரு ஸ்கொயர் மீட்டர் நீங்க தகரத்தை எடுத்துக்கலாம், ஒரு ஸ்கொயர் கிலோமீட்டர் நீங்க மண்ணை எடுத்துக்கலாம், அல்லது ஒரு ஸ்கொயர் ஒரு கியூப் சைக்கிள்ல நீங்க ஒரு மண்ணை எடுத்துக்கலாம், ஒரு கியூப்ல நீங்க கோல்டு எடுத்துக்கலாம், இரும்பு எடுத்துக்கலாம். 3க்கும் வேல்யூ வித்தியாசமானது. Why? Time, quantity, quality, 3க்கும் வித்தியாசம். ஆக, let us get it very clear. Anything which is an objective reality will have these 3 things: time, quantity and quality as measurements. Very good, so far so good. அப்ப மனிதன் வளர்ச்சி என்று எதை நினைக்கிறான்? What is the idea of progress of human being? When it comes to time, human being says, can I be faster than before? Perfectly okay. தப்பே கிடையாது. Are you getting it? When it comes to time, the human being is saying, can I go faster than before? வேகம் பரவாயில்ல. அடுத்தது quantity. Can I have more than before? வீட்டுல இன்னைக்கு ஒரு ரூம், ஒரு பெட்ரூம் இருக்கிற அபார்ட்மெண்ட் இருக்குது. 2 கிடைச்சா நல்லா இருக்கும்ல. 3 bedroom வில்லா இருந்தா ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கும்ல. குவான்டிட்டி அளவு என்று வரும்போது மேலும் 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 இருந்தால் சிறப்பாக இருக்கும் என்று நினைக்கிறான். அதுலேயும் தப்பு கிடையாது. 3வது தரம், குவாலிட்டி. முன்னை விட சிறப்பாக இருந்தால், மேன்மையாக இருந்தால் நல்லதுன்னு நினைக்கிறான். அதுலேயும் தப்பு கிடையாது. தட் இஸ் ஆல்சோ கிராண்ட். ஆக நேரம் அல்லது முன்னை விட சற்று வேகமாக, முன்னை விட சற்று அதிகமாக, முன்னை விட சற்று சிறப்பாக, இந்த 3 விஷயங்கள் ஆசைப்படுறது தப்பே கிடையாது. ஆனா எப்ப நீங்க கரெக்டா இருப்பீங்க? உங்களுக்கு இந்த மனித நேயம், மனித உறவு, இந்த மனித உணர்வுகள் அதோட உங்களுக்கு ஒரு கனெக்ட் இருந்துச்சுன்னா நீங்க அப்படி இருப்பீங்க. When the human being is not connected to the sensitivities of really caring, when the human being is not connected to the sensitivity of human values, when the human being is not connected to the deeper issues of feelings, of emotions, then there is a gap and there is a break between objective reality and subjective reality. And the moment that happens, you know what happens? அதே இன்னும் சற்று வேகம் என்பது அவசரமாக மாறுகிறது. வேகத்தையும் அவசரத்தையும் கன்ஃபியூஸ் பண்ணிக்கிறான் மனுஷன். இதை விட அதிகம் என்று வேண்டிய அந்த ஆசை பேராசையாக மாறுகிறது. முன்னை விட சிறப்பாக இருக்க வேண்டும் என்ற அந்த ஆசை அவனை ஆணவக்காரனாக மாற்றுகிறது. Speed, more and betterment becomes haste, greed and arrogance. I'm repeating this very consciously Because Mr. Vora mentioned the names, but I'm not mentioning any names. Today, across the world, if it's looking at one particular political leader, he symbolizes the three qualities: haste, greed, and arrogance. நான் பேர் சொல்லுங்க, நீங்க சொல்றீங்களா? Are you going to name, or do you want me to name? Don't sit quiet. That's it. I could never imagine, let's say 6 months back, that this conceptual framework that I've been working for the last 10 years will get globally an evidence of a leader who represents greed, haste, and arrogance. And you know what the world is going through. The world says, when is going to be a third world war? நான் 6 மாதத்துக்கு முன்னாடி கேட்டிருந்தா கொஞ்சம் தியரட்டிக்கலாக பேசுகிறேன்னு நினச்சிருப்பேன். இன்னைக்கு சத்தியம் பண்ணி சொல்கிறேன், இதை நீங்கள் மாற்ற முடியாது, யாருமே மாற்ற முடியாது. தர்மம் தேவை என்பது உறுதியாக தெரியும். அதுக்காக நீங்கள் ஒரு தடவை கை தட்டலாம், for sure. And now I come to the point of Mr. Kumaravel. Sir, நீங்கள் சொன்ன அந்த கடைசி point. Do you know that always social structures are this beautiful combination of bringing the objective reality and subjective reality in the role taking in society and in the corporate organization. You know what is these two roles? The objective reality is the role of the manager. The subjective reality is the role of the leader. Let's get this very clear. Objective reality is the role of the manager, and the subjective reality is the role of the leader. Why? Because objective reality is like the body. Body means a structure. Structure, system, processes. Yes. Your body goes through structure, system, processes. What do you mean by structure, system, processes? You can't tell God, God, I don't like my hand being here. Can you please fix it here? Structure. Kattumanam, kattamaipu, kattidam, kattupadu, kattungra vaarthai. அதெல்லாம் அவுக்கவே முடியாது, லூசன் பண்ண முடியாது. அப்படிதான் இருக்கும். கட்டாயம், கட்டளை. Given, you can't change it. So you got the structured system process. Anybody in this room who tells the heart, hello, please beat 64 times? Anybody who tells the stomach, I'm just eating a halwa, please digest it fast? Automatically, natural flow process. Structured system process is the manager's domain. But my dear friends, structure system process will be always through a process of evaluation, assessment. That's why when you go to the doctor does not start talking. Enna bahubali pathikala nalla irka? He evaluates your pulse. He evaluates your heartbeat. He evaluates your blood sugar. He evaluates your eye power. He evaluates your BMI. He evaluates your muscle mass. Structure system process undergoes evaluation process. What about leadership? Leadership is exactly the opposite, engaging process. Do you know what is the meaning of the word engagement? Whether it is the engagement of a gear or the engagement between a boy and girl before marriage, simply means you take away the boundaries and you come together. Togetherness is engagement, but evaluation requires separation. My dear friends, this is the call for us today. We can achieve fantastic growth and fantastic kind of phenomenal progress on the material front by being great managers. Today, the world, humanity, every one of us has got a huge call. Sure, be entrepreneurs. I love the kind of connectivity that such forums, such opportunities create. Jubilant gives fantastic opportunity for entrepreneurship, as Mr. Kumaravel rightly said. But remember, what is expected out of you in life as you progress is to become amazing leaders also. Don't just land up managing business and get caught up in the objective reality. With every little step, please, 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 grant it to the dharma of existence that you need to be also principle-centered leaders. And the day we resolve, எவ்வளோ அழகாக சொன்னார், இந்த உலகத்தை இன்னும் மேலும் சிறப்பிக்க முடியுமா? அது இருக்கட்டும், எனக்கு கிடைக்கணும், எனக்கு கிடைக்கணும், எனக்கு கிடைக்கும். பிச்சைக்காரத்தனத்தை விட்டுருங்க. Learn to become a giver. And that can come only when you have leadership more than a short-term orientation of managership. Already the young, beautiful lady has come and warned me from that corner. Already time, already time. So I respect what she's saying. But I want to leave you with this beautiful, simple message. That's why I didn't choose to go through these slides, because that would have taken a little more of time. Remember the dharma of life, managing dynamically the opposite realities. By all means, grow in life. When you grow in life, learn to give also. By all means, become fantastic managers, achieving fantastic results, significant results. Deeply engage with your employees, deeply engage with the people in society, deeply ask this caring question, what difference I can make to human being? My dear friends, together as managers and leaders, we will achieve such phenomenal times like Dr. Vora says. This Bharat, this India will be an example to the world, a guiding light to the world of really how to have holistic development, which from today we will call as dharmic development. Thank you, thank you, thank you.